Our distinguished chief guest, Dr. Girish Tillu sir, respected Dr. Manohar Furtado sir, respected Dr. Sangeeta Barnabas ma'am, respected Dr. Sadashiv Lonkar sir, respected Dr. Priyanka Tholar ma'am, respected all vice principals, head of the departments, esteemed faculty members, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm and heartfelt welcome to all of you. It is indeed a privilege and a matter of great pleasure to welcome you all to this special program organized by Department of Botany, the John Barnabas Postgraduate School for Biological Sciences in association with IQSC BPHE Societies, Ahmednagar College, Ahilyanagar. Today's program brings together traditional wisdom and modern scientific research through an inspiring talk entitled Ashwagandha Story, Traditional Knowledge in Modern Context, followed by hands-on workshop on clinical trials and planning to publication. Every successful program begins with a clear vision and thoughtful planning. To formally introduce today's program and share its objectives, I now invite the program coordinator, Dr. Prasad Lamrut sir, to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Good morning, one and all. Honorable Chairman of BPHS Societies, Dr. R.J. Barnabas, Honorable Secretary of BPHE Society, and President of today's program, Mr. Vishal Barnabas, In charge Principal of Ahmednagar College, Professor Dr. Abhijit Kulkarni, Chief Guest and Resource Person of today's event, Dr. Girish Tillu, Trustee of Sierra and Distinguished Advisor of Life Sciences Department of Ahmednagar College, Dr. Manohar Furtado, Dr. Sangeeta Barnabas and his family, Dr. Priyanka Tholar, Dr. Sadashiv Lonkar, Vice Principals, Professor Dr. Balsingh sir, Professor Dr. Nabde sir, and Professor Dr. Bedarkar sir, Registrar of the College, Mrs. Bhingar Deve, Coordinators, Non-Grant Section, Dr. Razzaq sir, distinguished guests, heads of departments, faculty members, members of organizing committee, research scholars, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning and a warm welcome to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to today's talk and workshop organized by the Department of Botany, John Barnabas Postgraduate School of Biological Sciences in association with IQSC, Ahmednagar College, Ahmednagar. The objective of this program is to provide a platform for learning, interaction, and exchange of ideas on contemporary issues of health sciences and research. We are truly honored to have amongst us one of the leading researchers in the field of Ayush and evidence-based traditional medicine, Dr. Girish Tillu. Principal Investigator, Ayush Center of Excellence, Department of Health Sciences, Savitribai Phule, Pune University, whose expertise and contribution have inspired researchers and academicians across the country. Sir, we are extend our heartfelt welcome to you. Today's program includes a thought-provoking lecture on Ashwagandha story, traditional knowledge in modern context, and a workshop on clinical trials, planning to publication, offering a valuable insight to evidence-based research, academic inquiry, and publication practices. I'm confident that the participant, especially our students, research scholars, and faculty members will greatly benefit from this enriching academic experience. With these words, I once again extend a cordial welcome to everyone and wish the program a grand success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for outlining the significance and objectives of today's program. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for felicitation of our distinguished guests. I request Chairperson of today's program and Secretary of BPHE Society, Mr. Vishal Barnabas sir, to kindly felicitate our distinguished resource person, Dr. Girish Tillu sir. Please, sir. Thank you, sir. I request Principal Dr. Abhijit Kulkarni, sir, to kindly felicitate Trustee of Seria and Distinguished Advisor of Life Science Department of Ahmednagar College, Dr. Manohar Furtado, sir. Thank you, sir. I once again request Dr. Abhijit Kulkarni, sir, to kindly felicitate our respected Secretary of BPHA Society, Mr. Vishal Barnabas, sir. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Suryavanshi, ma'am. Okay, I request Dr. Rajesh Tak, sir, to kindly felicitate Dr. Sangeeta Barnabas, ma'am. I request Vice Principal Dr. Bhal Singh, sir, to kindly felicitate Dr. Sadashiv Lonkar, sir. Thank you, sir. I request Non-Current Chief Coordinator Dr. Razak, sir, to kindly felicitate Dr. Priyanka Tholar, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now, at last, I request our program coordinator, Dr. Prasad Lamrut, sir, to kindly felicitate our respected principal, Dr. Abhijit Kulkarni, sir. Thank you, sir. Recognition is the greatest motivation for excellence. We now move towards the award ceremony. I respectfully invite Trustee of Seria and Distinguished Advisor of Life Sciences Department of Ahmednagar College, Dr. Manohar Furtado, sir, to kindly conduct the award presentations.
Hey, thank you, Prashant. Just wanted to say a few words. I'm really not the trustee for the Science Education Research India Association. It is a trust set up in Pune, and trustees are all Indian citizens, which is Dr. Lonkar here, Priyanka Tholar, Bhushan Patwardhan, and Surendra Gaskadve. I am an advisor to that committee. Because I'm not an Indian, so I couldn't be on it. And I'm also an advisor to the BPHC Society for Scientific Education and Research, and that's why, so we have tapped into a large number of former students, alumni who are in very good positions in the US, and also many people who are in good positions in India. And we have been collecting funds from them to set up an endowment fund. And from that fund, we're going to use the interest to have merit awards for students. Like today, we're going to have some PhD student awards, some faculty mentoring awards, and some donation of some instrumentation. So that's today's program. In December, we'll have the PG Day when we have the the awards for all the merit students from different departments. So we held one last year in September, immediately after the international conference that was conducted by Dr. Aranna here. And that's when we started it. We got money from a few well-wishers and we did that, and then we started the trust. It's registered in Pune, and if you are on the trust chat or a student council chat, we have been sending emails and requests for donations to everybody. Okay, so that's one thing. The other part about the trust is we hope to grow the trust to a certain level in 3 years, after which we will get foreign currency regulation clearances so we can get a lot more. So essentially what we want to use the money is to award some students merit awards. We'll be using the money to buy some instrumentation. So last year we got a qPCR system into biochemistry, which is about 10 lakhs, and we gave away awards to students for about 2 lakhs. Today's function will distribute about $25,000 to 5 people who are PhD students to help with their reagent purchase or any other things they need money for. We have some $10,000 rupee awards for, I'm sorry, awards for some of the faculty, and then we have some instrumentation as well. So we're hoping to grow this, and beyond 3 years, I think we'll get direct investment from, there are a lot of students in the US who have gone out from here, and there are a lot more students. I have about 325 people in the trust chat, and I've so far received contributions from about 50. So we are hoping to grow that. Anybody who's a past student, past faculty, current faculty, welcome to donate for towards the charity. We are not going to ask students to donate anything, but once they graduate and then they become something like the vice president of Lupin or something, maybe they can help us out. We got major donations from former students like Subhash Kapre, who's there, Raghavendra Gaikware, and then Dr. Lonkar and Dr. Patwardhan. All of them have given us substantial contributions, and I'm only hoping that will increase. So Prashant, do you have the certificates? Or so first, I'd like to ask Dr. Lonkar to distribute the awards related to the PhD students. The first student is Likumeri Devase. She's from a student of Dr. D.D. Gaikwad, and she's in organic. So if she could come in front, accept that one. I don't know if she's here. The second one is Mohammad Rizwan Waid Khan. I think he's a student of Dr. Wanjare from zoology, and he's working on some bronchiopod identification. The next award goes to Govind Chandrakant Nikam. He's a student with Dr. Arana Professor Arana in zoology. The next award goes to Syed Sadaf Anjum Zaki. Are you working with Dr. Lamrod, right? No. She's a student of Dr. Kulkarni. So the next set of awards is faculty mentorship, and this is funded by the Thomas Barnabas collections that we have made. So I'm going to ask Sangeeta Barnabas to hand out these awards. The first one is Mr. Rowan Shelke for coordinating the entire regulatory affairs, quality affairs course throughout the last year and compiling all of that into a book. The next award is to Dr. Avinash Wanjare and Prashant Kadke for getting some excellent publications. So please come forward. The next award goes to Dr. Rajesh Tuck and Sunny Rupwate. So they got together and so they wrote a proposal to the Chromatographic Society of India. And because of that, the college is going to get a 15 lakh award for buying instrumentation. Yeah, and so I'm going to ask them to share the awards. There's only one check there. Hopefully they will do it. Okay, thanks. The next set of awards is in memory of Dr. Ratnakar Tolar, who was the chairman here for about 30 years. So I'm going to ask his granddaughter Priyanka Tolar to give this house. These are instrument awards, and I don't know if Sunny brought the instruments here or not. So the first one is magnetic stirrer with heating, and this is for Dr. D.D. Gaikwad from organic chemistry. If he's not here, somebody else from organic or Dr. Tuck, you can take it here if he's not here. The next award goes to Dr. Kadke. It's an inverted microscope for tissue culture. So I'm hoping he's going to use it to run many, many workshops in the college. And the last one goes to Miss Komal Sonavne. And this is a set of rain-in pipettement that's used every day in the lab for all kinds of experiments. So there's a set of 4 which covers everything from 1 ml to 20 microliters. Okay, so with that, I think that concludes our awards presentation. Thank you all, and we look forward to your collaboration and cooperation to make this even better, especially MSc students who are graduating out. Please join the trust.
Thank you, sir. And congratulations to all the award recipients. We wish you continued success in your academic and professional journey. Finally, I request Principal Dr. Abhijit Kulkarni sir to kindly address the gathering.
Good morning, everyone. Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, vice principals, head of various departments, distinguished faculty members, teachers from different colleges, dear research scholars, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to today's program featuring the talk on the Ashwagandha story and the workshop on clinical trials for planning to publications. I take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Girish Tillu for graciously accepting our invitation. We are privileged to have him guide us on the Avishkar Research Competition and conduct the valuable workshop for our research scholars. I am confident that his expertise and experience will greatly benefit all the participants. I would also like to acknowledge the significant contribution of Dr. Manohar Furtado. Through his dedicated efforts, he has brought together the alumni of PG School and the Department of Chemistry, inspiring them to contribute generously. Their support will certainly enrich our research facilities and further strengthen the research activities at Ahmednagar College. I am also grateful to the members of the trust, Dr. Lonkar and Dr. Tholar, for instituting and distributing award money to our research scholars, thereby encouraging excellence in research. I extend a special welcome to Dr. Girish Tillu, Dr. Sangeeta Barnabas and her family members, and all our distinguished guests to Ahmednagar College. Finally, I congratulate Dr. Prasad Lamrud and all the members of organizing committee for their dedicated efforts in arranging this program. I wish the workshop and today's event is a great success. Once again, I warmly welcome you, each one of you, and wish you an encouraging and fruitful workshop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I request I request Dr. Avinash Vanzare, sir, to kindly deliver vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Prashant. As we come close to the close of this inaugural function, it is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks and to express a sincere gratitude to all those who have contributed to the success of this program. We place on record our deep sense of appreciation to the chairman of BPHES, Dr. R.J. Barnabas, for his visionary leadership, and to our secretary, Mr. Vishal Barnabas, for his constant encouragement and support. We express our sincere thanks to our principal, Dr. Abhijit Kulkarni, for his continued support and for ensuring that all necessary facilities were made available. We convey our special gratitude to our vice principals, Dr. Dilip Kumar Balsingh sir, Dr. Pritam Kumar Bedarkar, Dr. Vilas Nabde for their guidance and encouragement. We also acknowledge with thanks the support extended by Dr. Razak Sayyed sir, Chief Course Coordinator of Non-Grant Section. We gratefully acknowledge the cooperation of Mrs. Kalpalata Bingardive, Registrar, and extend our thanks to Dr. Prashant Fugner, Librarian, for his valuable support. Our sincere appreciation is extended to all heads of the departments, coordinators, and members of teaching and non-teaching staff for their cooperation and motivating students to actively participate in this event. We also express our gratitude to Dr. Sangeeta Barnabas, Dr. Sadashiv Lonkar, Dr. Priyanka Tholar, and all well-wishers and supporters of Ahmednagar College for gracing the occasion with their presence. We place on record a special thanks to Dr. Manohar Furtado, Distinguished Advisor, John Barnabas Postgraduate School of Life Sciences, Ahmednagar College, for his continued guidance, inspiration, and support. We also acknowledge the appreciation of the support of Science Education and Research Association, SERA Pune. We extend our thanks to Dr. Prasad Lamrut, Program Coordinator, and the entire team, Dr. Sunny Rupuate, Dr. Sudhir Bade, Dr. Madhav Zadav, Mr. Yogesh Yevle, Mr. Avinash Gaikwad, Dr. Prashant Katke, Mr. Rohan Shelke, and Dr. Pritam Bedarkar for their dedicated efforts. A special word of thanks is due to Mr. Sai Suram for efficiently managing all the arrangement. Finally, we extend our sincere thanks to all the students and staff from various departments who have joined us today. We are confident that the forthcoming interaction with Dr. Girish Tillu will be both enriching and inspiring. I once again thank each one of you for your valuable presence and for contributing to the success of this program. I now invite you for a cup of tea after the close of this inaugural function. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
So
I request all the dignitaries to kindly proceed first, followed by the faculty members and all the students.
yeah,
And
so
for-
before we start.
hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, check. Hello, hello.
हॅलो ठीक आहे काही प्रॉब्लेम यायला लागला तर मला सांग चालेल हां
A very warm welcome. Welcome back to everyone.
Please, please, please.
Now comes the most awaited sessions of today's program. It is my privilege to call Dr. Preetam Bedarkar sir to please introduce Dr. Girish Tillu sir. Please sir.
Am I audible? Good morning all. This is great privilege for me to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Girish Tillu sir. Actually, I may not be able to fix his achievements and recognition simply in the words, but still sir, I'm trying my level best. Today we have with us Dr. Girish Tillu sir. He is a integrative Ayurveda practitioner and clinical researcher. He is MD in Ayurveda and PhD in health sciences. He is a scientist fellow and presently he is working as an assistant professor in Center for Complementary and Integrative Health School of Health Psychology, Health Sciences, Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Pune. His experiences and expertise is concerned. He has 23 years interdisciplinary research in Ayurveda, integrative medicine, and health sciences. He is a former project engineer and group leader at CDAC Pune. He worked on diagnostic technology, health informatics, and mobile health. He holds US patent on pulse diagnosis technology. He has clinical research experience with the Center for Rheumatic Disease since 2002. His key research areas are concerned. One, exploring Ayurveda and yoga for public health needs. This is the need of this era. Clinical trials on arthritis, COVID-19, vaccine adjuvants, and mother-child healthcare. And another interest area or the key research area, he is leading 4 research projects funded by Ministry of Ayush and DBT. His academic and leaderships are concerned. He is the executive editor of Journal of Ayurveda and Integrative Medicine elsewhere. He is a co-author or he has co-authored a book, Integrative Approach for Health by Elsewhere. And he has authored book with the Elsewhere in year 2015. He has authored and written chapters in 5 books, and gist of the content he has covered from those books is integrative approach for health, innovative approach in drugs discovery, traditional and folk herbal medicines, Pune Health 2020, anti-aging, and concept of Prakriti. He has published 86 research papers, and importantly, let me add that research get report says that 74,215 people read his articles and 2,077 citations to his credits. He has guided 4 research scholars and 25 plus MSc students. He is a founder member of Ayurveda Vyaspeeth. He has contributed to the development of Ayush Soft, that website, and all activities underlined into that, which has been headed by the ministry, central government. A knowledge-based and decision support system based on the knowledge of Ayurvedic promoted by CDAC. We can see tests he has promoted like Swasthya Assessment Scale and Prakriti Assessment Scale. I need another minute, sir, please. His research interests are clinical and community research, health-seeking behavior, pharma, say epidemiology, and lifestyle of gut health. As the recognition of his research and the academic leaderships, he has been awarded, he is a recipient of different awards, a name Hinduja Merit Scholarship Award, Vaidya Scientist Fellowship Award, M.V. Kolatkar Award, and Karya Bhushan Award. So on this platform, on behalf of BPHE Society and Ahmednagar College, I welcome you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Respected Furtado sir, Barnabas ma'am, Tolar ma'am, Lonkar sir, Honorable Principal, my new friends, Dr. Katke, Dr. Vanzari, Dr. Bederkar, the head of Biochemistry Department, and Dr. Lamrud. I'm going to tell you an interesting story about a botanical called Ashwagandha. This is not only a story of a botanical, this is also a story of how a researcher works. This is also a story of several efforts, how people, they work for a goal, how many people they collaborate. So let us begin with this story. This is my declaration as our best practice. First, let me offer my humble tribute to late Professor John Barnabas, who was my mentor's mentor. Actually, I am here to have या संस्थेचं दर्शन घ्यायला मी आज आलेलो आहे. इथे माझे गुरु प्रोफेसर भूषण पटवर्धन यांनी मास्टर्स इन बायोकेमिस्ट्री केलं बऱ्याच वर्षांपूर्वी, आणि अशा एका मोठ्या संस्थेचं, की ज्या संस्थेला खूप मोठी परंपरा आहे, अ ग्रेट लिगसी ऑफ रिसर्चर्स. Right now, I was informed that our friends, our teachers from this college, Dr. Katke and Dr. Vanzari, they have discovered a species of a shrimp, and they named that shrimp with Varali, remembering that community. This is a really a gesture of a sense of gratefulness. So I also honor those efforts. You are continuing that legacy, sir. This idea was proposed by Manohar Furtado, sir. So if lecture goes well, please tell him. If you don't expect something, or if lecture is boring, then tell me. So let us start with the present day. We all are professionals working for health, disease prevention, therapy, discovering innovative therapies. So we must be careful about what is ongoing, what is the state of the health of the world, and the figures and facts, they really make us introspect. How many of you want to be healthy? Please raise your hands. How many of you want to live long? Okay. If I ask you a question, why? What will be your answer? Right? So that is really a question. Thus, the world is facing many diseases, non-communicable diseases, mental disorders, even communicable diseases, injuries. I teach a course on non-communicable diseases, and since last few years, we have added a new category in official Indian statistics, and that category is non-intentional injuries, accidents, etc. and around 8 to 10% deaths, they are in this category of non-intentional injuries. So we need to really protect our health and expedite new drugs. Those will be safer, those will be derived from natural sources, because injury or harm because of many of the medicines is now becoming a concern, and hence we want to discover new drugs. And I'm involved in Ayurveda research for last 24 years, and this is the timeline, or this is the cumulative frequency of PubMed papers on Ayurveda starting from 1894 till this year. And you will see the research on Ayurveda is really exponentially increasing. So from awakening phase, it is now in acceleration phase, and there are so many things. Our department of the Center of Excellence for Ayush Research is active in Savitribai Phule Pune University, where I work. Now this is an Ashwagandha story of a plant, and story of resilience tradition. We humans, we synthesize our learning, we learn from past, and we build something for future. Thus, this is a story of amazing integration of traditional knowledge and whatever biology, whatever technology we have, we integrate both for people's benefit. And interesting part of this story is, this story starts with a patient. Many times in many conferences, patient is the most neglected word. So this is the patient story, and a patient, Mr. Varghese, he writes in Indian Medical Journal in 1885, and he narrates his experience of taking ashwagandha, and after a period of infectious disease, he came to normal only because of consuming ashwagandha. And the patient says, this is the first paper on ashwagandha which we can find on PubMed. An interesting part is that paper is authored by a patient. So interesting story, right? Many times we only scientists, teachers, great doctors, institution write papers, but here patient is writing his own history. पेशंटने लिहिलेला पेपर आहे सगळ्यात पहिला पेपर जो आपल्याला बघायला मिळतो अश्वगंधाच्या डेटाबेस बद्दल. इंटरेस्टिंग, राईट? राईट रिसर्च पेपर्स. Isn't it interesting? Fascinating, right? So even undergraduate students can write research papers. Anyone can write. There was a movie, Ratatouille. कोणी बघितली Ratatouille movie? So what is the message of Ratatouille? Anyone can cook, right? So anyone can do research. Research is something, a careful study, careful investigation, more investigation. Syllabus is there, but syllabus is called as basic minimum. Right? Syllabus, basic minimum. Research, maximum possible. Right? Just remember syllabus and research. What is research? Maximum possible. What is syllabus? Basic minimum. Thus, this is an interesting story about patient, and patient says, this was used by me for last 3 months, and I speak from the relief I experienced as compared with the numerous other remedies tried, but only with temporary relief. It is thus worthy of further trial and investigation. A patient says, what research should be done? I hope many give their opinion on this valuable drug. This is the only way to bring the light of value of Indian remedies and to compete with the great influx of other remedies. So patient directs, patient says in 1885, the value of Indian medicine, the value of natural resource what we have in our country, abundant natural resource. Let us talk about ashwagandha. So this is Vidania somnifera, and Ayurveda knowledge base has more than 5,000 botanicals and their parts. Ethnobotanical records, they have more than 7,000 species, and I'm not an expert on botany, but our botany teachers will say that whatever database of all total botanicals that we have on earth, so this is the story of one plant. And there are so many multi-ingredient formulations in traditional knowledge digital library that has systematically coded over 250,000 formulations. So Ashwagandha research is all about studying a concept, right? In every research that starts with a concept, a question, then we test in some experimental model system. Let it be in vitro, in vivo, clinical, community, whatever, assays. But starts with a concept and a question. And Ashwagandha research is all about studying a concept. Before I started this talk, we discussed what is health. If we forget what is health, then we lose everything. And this is a journal called Cell, published Hallmarks of Health. What are the foundation factors that define health? And this paper was published in a Cell. This is a very holistic thinking paper, but published in a journal called Cell. And these are the hallmarks of health, and that says that spatial compartmentalization, maintenance of homeostasis, and response to stress, all these factors, they define health. But the author, they went further and they said that, look, for all these aspects of health, a central concept that runs through is psychosocial adaptation. So this is the biology that also acknowledges importance of psychosocial adaptation for health. And this is the Ayurvedic thought expressed in a very different things. Ayurveda is not just list of medicine that we can match with list of diseases. It is a philosophy that tells how we can maintain, improve health and prevent diseases. And that's the entire emphasis on homeostasis, how we can build our homeostatic systems in order to cope up with stress. And there is another concept that is coming up as allostatic load. Allostatic load is a load when our systems cannot handle, and that becomes a baggage, and then various stress mechanisms they start, and that leads to various pathology of diseases. Thus, psychosocial adaptation is also part of it. We all know the concept of homeostasis, and that was put forth by Claude Bernard as milieu interior, right? Internal environment and external environment. And then again, Walter Cannon coined the concept of homeostasis, but Charaka Samhita mentioned the concept very well. It says that dhatu samyam arogata. Whenever we have balance, every health needs balance, balancing our physical, mental, social, psychological health. And thus, this is the concept of homeostasis, and adaptation limit is very central to what I'm going to discuss further, the role of ashwagandha. So friends, we have a homeostasis and homeostatic limit, and there are some behavior, some interventions, they can again improve, or they can increase our limit of adaptation, and this is called as rasayana concept in Ayurveda, right? If our adaptation limit is good, then our health is better, right? And that answers the question that why a few people, they had symptomatic COVID, why a few people, they suffered with severe COVID infections and needed admissions, hospital admissions, etc. Because of this, our different adaptation limits. And this is the concept, and this concept promotes health nourishes tissues, offers immunomodulation, anti-aging, rejuvenation, and central to health and diseases. That's Ashwagandha description what we find in Sanskrit texts. There are several Sanskrit texts. The first text, Ayurvedic text that we find the description of Ashwagandha in, it is Charaka Samhita, and the text is authored several centuries ago. There are debates how old is Charaka Samhita, but it is more than say 3000 years old. That is for sure. That's many such verses they impart about knowledge, and then Ayurvedic physicians they use this knowledge for treating diseases and maintaining health of people. Thus, there are several descriptions in Sanskrit texts, and those descriptions they can be translated in several English terminologies which I have put in this figure. For example, there are several health promotion and health protection indications, right from anti-aging, complexion promotion, detoxification, revitalization, homeostasis, adaptation, etc. That's Ashwagandha. If we enlist Ayurvedic description according to various body systems, it offers, it is a mild sedative and that improves cognition. So for students it is good, but please remember, not for everyone or not for every time, any dose. Dose, season, how we take it, that matters. But nervous system and this knowledge of ancient texts is being studied in very systematic studies, including studies on several biological systems as well as in clinical trials. It has gastrointestinal system effect as an appetizer, digestion promoter, on cardiovascular effect as cardiotonic. It reduces edema, respiratory system anti-asthmatic, expectorant, mild diuretic, improves muscle tone of urinary system, reproductive system is aphrodisiac and endometritis management. And thus one herb can be administered in various such indications or various benefits if we use it slightly differently. For example, if we use its root ash and ghee with honey, it is effective in asthma, or root oil for massage, decoction that helps in arthritic pain, etc. Thus, one root can be administered through different dosage forms, not only for convenience, but in order to get its target action for specific disease. So that is the concept why we use several dosage forms, several forms of medicine. And then this is the description, and I'm going to tell you different aspect. I acknowledge my friend Akash for this slide. Now there are various effects on various systems, and I describe some of the effects of this system that I will not repeat now. But this Ashwagandha, Ayurveda says that we have to use its root, because root has a different chemistry than leaves or other aerial parts. Each botanical has different chemical composition in its different parts. And now there are several aspects of root chemistry which is enriched with various vithanolides such as vithanolide A, vithanoside 4, and leaf chemistry is dominant in vidaferin A, and vidaferin A is cytotoxic. And then Ayush Ministry has issued a notification that for various internal consumption purposes we have to use ashwagandha roots and not leaves. Hence, if we use plant parts which are not expected to be used, then that may lead to some adverse or unexpected effects. And that is very important, especially when we deal with some plant related material, right? We have a notion that XYZ material is safe, but it is safe only if we use it with its intended plant part, with defined dose, in defined way, and in defined indication or defined health condition, right? Everything including water or oxygen, we have to use it very carefully, right? So thus the discussion about toxicity, which I am going to discuss later, has this background. If we use it carefully with same or expected plant parts. So this is the systems Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is not just one root, the entire system of thought. So this is now I'm going to discuss some research which is ongoing in our department and completed in our department for last few years. So this is the research which I am going to tell you the story, a timeline that starts from 1991. We tested my mentor, Professor Bhushan Patwardhanji. He was involved, he led, conceptualized and completed all those research projects. We tested ashwagandha formulation for rheumatoid osteoarthritis treatment. This was a clinical trial that we published in 1991. Then Professor Patwardhan compared properties of Vidania somnifera and ginseng. My friends, ginseng is the plant, a Chinese or Korean plant, which is used in all over the world, including in the United States and many of European countries because of its health benefits. And this was compared and published in 1994 by my mentor, and he concluded, I'm going to show you the data of that paper. Then immunomodulatory effect. Our body tries to curtail imbalance, stress because of this mechanism, and thus this is called as immunomodulation. This is a unique concept of Ayurveda. Then Vidania somnifera for inflammation, immunoprotection in cancer, then immune response with DPT vaccine, Vidania formulation for again osteoarthritis. Then we studied its immunomodulatory mechanism in 2006, counterprotective potential in 2007 and 2008. Then stability study also on extracts, Vidania formulations in again osteoarthritis, a clinical trial. Then Vidania constituents absorption in mice, and that study led to our latest clinical trial that we completed on how Vidania somnifera gets absorbed, metabolized, we get absorbed, distributed, metabolized and excreted. Study of that is called as what? Pharmacokinetics. We completed a recent study on pharmacokinetics of Vidania somnifera, and a detailed study was completed for the first time, and then interaction studies. Then in 2020, various studies on immunomodulation in context of COVID-19, because that was the pandemic, and then for COVID-19 prevention, adjuvant, and then how Vidania somnifera acts in cancer. I'm going to show you some glimpses of this research. Again, this is very important slide because all those research projects that I'm describing, some of the projects were actually students' projects, master's projects and PhD projects, and a few of them they were funded projects, but many you will find students' project. Thus, for teachers and students here, if we do very systematic research, then our research can be published, cited, and that takes knowledge further. And some of the projects, they were again animal or lab experiments, and of course all the funded projects, they were clinical trials. I'm going to tell you some examples of that research as a story. So this was a paper that we published in 1991, treatment of osteoarthritis with a herbomineral formulation, a double-blind placebo-controlled crossover study. And this was ashwagandha-based formulation that was tested in people as a trial, and we found that these formulation that reduces pain and disability of people. The next study that followed, that was comparative pharmacological investigation of ashwagandha and ginseng, and where the aqueous extract means extract that used in water as we use in Ayurveda, and then that was tested in anti-stress activity by mice swimming endurance test and anabolic activity by recording weight gain, and the researchers found that ashwagandha works better than ginseng. This is very important paper that was published in 1994. I'm also going to refer that paper in the context of upcoming market of Vidania somnifera. So this was again, Manohar sir, this is a trial that was done with Dr. Deepa Chitre from California, and this was a 32-week randomized placebo-controlled clinical evaluation of RA11, an Ayurvedic drug, and you will find that this clinical trial that was published with 358 patients with chronic knee pain, and then efficacy compared to placebo, the mean reduction in pain that was systematically noted, and then another improvement index, that is osteoarthritis index, that was also studied, and ashwagandha formulation works better than placebo. So this was this study that was reported in 2004 in Journal of Clinical Rheumatology. Another aspect of this immunomodulation that was tested with a vaccine. Can we increase efficacy of vaccine? See, this concept was very interesting. Why? Because the modern biotechnology derived vaccine, if we integrate with a traditional medicine. What was a fantastic concept that combines traditional and technology together for improving vaccine, and that was showed that DPT vaccine by aqueous extract of Vidania somnifera in experimental system. I request some of the faculty members, they can go through this paper, a very interesting paper. So this work was done with Serum Institute of India, and you will find in every paper there are multiple authors. Why are they? They represent different disciplines, and if we work with people of different disciplines, then we can get a new idea. For example, a zoology professor can interact with local Adivasis, then they can get good idea of that field. A chemistry person, if that person works with a botany professor, then a chemistry person can advise a botany person something new which that botany person might not be thinking. A zoology person or a biotechnology or biochemistry professor, if that person discusses with an Ayurveda physician, then that biochemistry person can get many new ideas. For example, in our laboratory, we are now working on what happens when we treat various types of lipids with many botanicals. This is a Pandora's box. Many interesting things are coming up. So new thoughts needs, innovative research needs cross-pollination of ideas. Instead of working in the same group, same department, same people. So this cross-pollination gives new ideas. Our student can also discuss with their friends from different disciplines. You will get a very new idea of your subject, right? So interdisciplinary is not just research level. Interdisciplinary thinking can also start right from our student life. So this is an example, very interesting example, where researchers from Savitribai Phule Pune University worked with Serum Institute of India, the leading vaccine manufacturing and research company. So reduced mortality accompanied with overall improved health status was observed in treated animals after intracerebral challenge of pertussis, indicating development of protective immune response. That was the finding of this paper. Another paper that systematically studied what are the mechanisms of immunomodulation. We all know how our immune system acts. So this is again a very fundamental paper that reported that the ashwagandha extract also they worked on uh, various systems. So they said that the treatment with extract showed significant increase in CD4 and CD8 counts as compared to control, with faster recovery of CD4 T cells in immunosuppressed animals. So this study indicates was published by again a team of experts. आता हे करण्यासाठी हा रिसर्च करण्यासाठी एक ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जन, एक सेल बायोलॉजिस्ट, एक बायोकेमिस्ट्रीचे सायंटिस्ट, एक आयुर्वेदाचे तज्ज्ञ आणि एक रुमॅटॉलॉजिस्ट अशी लोक एकत्र आले तेव्हा हा पेपर पब्लिश झाला बरं का. म्हणजे तेव्हा त्याबद्दलचं आपल्याला ज्ञान झालं. असं वेगवेगळ्या लोकांनी एकत्र आलं तर नवीन ज्ञान निर्माण होतं. सो अगेन दिस वॉज इन actual cells of cartilage, but the next study that we systematically planned that was on patients. म्हणून आपल्याला काही गोष्टी या सेल कल्चर मध्ये जरी कळल्या तरी त्या अजून पुढच्या बायोलॉजिकल सिस्टम्स मध्ये आपल्याला तपासायला पाहिजेत. सो दॅट इज कॉल्ड अ सिस्टम्स बायोलॉजी, राईट फ्रॉम स्मॉलर युनिट टू हायर युनिट्स. Whenever we move from atoms to molecules, molecules to cells, cell to tissue, tissue to organ, organ to system, systems to organism, and from many organisms they form a community. These are several levels of biological organization. आणि गंमत अशी आहे, जेव्हा आपण या सूक्ष्मापासून स्थूलापर्यंत जातो तेव्हा नवीन बायोलॉजिकल हायर सिस्टीम्स मध्ये नवीन नवीन प्रॉपर्टीज इमर्ज होतात. हेन्स our research we need to take to higher level, and hence this research was taken to clinical level where we measured a protein that is called as urinary CTAX2, that is telopeptide fragments of collagen type 2 in urine, and we could demonstrate that patients of osteoarthritis where that is their cartilage breakdown is indicated by the CTAX2 protein that gets reduced after we administer ashwagandha products. So this is the graph that is published in a clinical trial that is evaluating higher doses of Shunti Gudichi formulations. This was again a Government of India project. Then ashwagandha as cancer adjuvant. This is again a very interesting crosstalk between cancer biology and traditional medicine. And my friends, this is the PhD project of one of my colleagues. This is PhD project of Professor Patwardhan's PhD student, and that this is an excellent review. I request to read that review. Review कसा असावा त्याचं एक खूप छान उदाहरण आहे. आमचं आत्मस्तुती नाही, मी डिक्लेरेशन मध्ये करून टाकलं की बाबांनो मी आपलं रेफरन्स देऊन बोलतो आहे. आणि ashwagandha, how a potential adjuvant in cancer that is beneficial, and this is actually a crosstalk of cancer biology and traditional medicine, ashwagandha. So this is the review, and that review tracks down the cancer hallmarks. Sorry, they superimpose झालंय. So this is the way whenever we want to study a drug, so this is hallmarks of cancer. Cancerच्या mechanism काय आहेत, and then how ashwagandha can be beneficial. And hence I said, whenever we understand effect of drugs, we actually understand our body physiology in a very different way. Hence, even though you are doing pharmacology, you have to understand physiology. In order to understand physiology, you need to decode nature's secrets of evolution. And my friends, now you will understand Professor Barnabas was a biologist who could understand evolution, secrets of nature, and hence he could do a lot of discoveries. So this is the way researchers, they think more than the subjects, and hence we could present how ashwagandha might be working on several hallmarks of cancer, several mechanisms of cancer. And this is an excellent review that I request many of our postgraduate and doctoral students to go through. So this is ashwagandha. And this is now work done during pandemic. तुम्हाला माहितीच आहे की pandemic मध्ये whatever knowledge we had, we implemented that knowledge. आपल्याला या pandemic मध्ये काय शिकायला मिळालं बरं? What did we learn in this pandemic? Yes, so taking precaution against infection is very, very important. Sir, काय शिकायला मिळालं pandemic मध्ये आपल्याला? Absolutely. So he says that very good thing. So start from ourselves, protect our own health, and then protect health of community. Any other point that we learned in pandemic, friends? Aisha? Archana? Archana said health is more important, right? So prevent, promote health, right? In order to let damage happen and then आम्ही ट्रीट करू. बरोबर की नाही? तो जोक आहे. डॉक्टर म्हणतो की मी निमोनियाचा डॉक्टर आहे, तुमची सर्दी अजून होऊ द्या पुढे निमोनिया पर्यंत, मग माझ्याकडे या. सो असं नाहीये. ट्रीट at the earliest. So the principle of health is preventable, right? Treat, curable, manage, which you cannot cure. So this is the way of health, and hence whatever knowledge we had, मी तुम्हाला आतापर्यंत सांगितलं अश्वगंधा इम्युनोमॉड्युलेशन कसं करतं, अश्वगंधा वेगवेगळ्या इम्युन सिस्टीमवर ऍक्ट कसं करतं, अश्वगंधा प्रोटेक्ट कसं करतं, हे नॉलेज आम्हाला होतं, जे रिसर्च मधून मिळालं होतं थोडंफार. अँड देन we published, this review was published within 1 month of the first case of pandemic was reported in India. And this was the paper that was led by my mentor, Professor Patwardhan. And then this paper that we published in Current Science, because we wanted to communicate to Indian science that look, we can do this. This is our context. आणि म्हणून पेपर्स पब्लिश कुठे करावेत हा पण एक खूप मोठा रिसर्चचा टॉपिक आहे, तो आपण नंतर कधीतरी बोलूया. पण we targeted to current science, which is Indian Science Journal, and then this paper led to a big program of Ministry of Ayush, where Professor Patwardhan was invited to chair a task force of Ministry of Ayush. And this task force gave inspiration to many of the Ayurvedic researchers and many of the scientists and clinicians. And then this task force alone can lead and inspired more than 300 clinical trials on several Ayurvedic medications. And this is the paper that we proposed. What could be the mechanisms of ashwagandha based on the knowledge that we have? This is की कुठलेही रिसर्च हा लगेच सुरू नाही होत, त्याच्या अगोदर एक कन्सेप्ट पेपर रिव्ह्यू जर पब्लिश केला तर आपल्याला आत्मविश्वास येतो. our thoughts they become crystal clear, precise, and then funding agency can give us the funds. So this was that paper led to many such papers, and then we planned the first trial in COVID-19 pandemic. So again, when we were working, my colleague Dr. Swapnil Borse, who is a pharmacologist in our group, his nephew, त्याच्या भाच्याने विचारलं त्याला की अरे कोविडवर औषध काय आहे. Then that question by that child led to this paper. बऱ्याचदा लहान मुलांनी विचारलेले प्रश्न ते सुद्धा शास्त्रज्ञांना अस्वस्थ करतात आणि त्याच्यातून नवीन रिसर्च पेपर्स आणि मोठे मोठे प्रोजेक्टची सुद्धा निर्मिती होते. So Ayurveda based botanicals for COVID-19. So we also did whole lot of work during COVID-19 pandemic with ashwagandha and many formulations, but today my topic of discussion remains up to ashwagandha. So we had a detailed chemical profile of ashwagandha because we were working on ashwagandha for cancer adjuvant. अगोदरचा आमचा प्रोजेक्ट होता कॅन्सर adjuvant. तो सांगितलंच मी तुम्हाला. तो आम्हाला अश्वगंधाची केमिस्ट्री खूप डिटेल्ड माहिती होती, केली होती आम्ही. म्हणून आपलं डिपार्टमेंट काही असो, आपण त्या विषयाचं नॉलेज जर जास्तीत जास्त घ्यायला लागलो तर आपल्याला नवीन बऱ्याच गोष्टी सुचू शकतात. सो दिस वॉज अ केमिस्ट्री दॅट वी न्यू अबाउट अश्वगंधा, अँड देन we tried to map various immune pathways of those phytochemicals that were present in ashwagandha root, and then that led to several phytochemicals. So this is one of the first papers of in silico modeling for COVID-19. Right now, even we will not do this research because that was very beginning of COVID-19. And people were not ready to test several botanicals in acute infectious disease. But we could make this in silico modeling, and we published it. And then, so this paper emerged because of network of bioinformatics scientist, analytical chemistry scientist, a person from Ayurveda, then pharmacology, all they came together. Hence, this paper was possible. Thus, ashwagandha as COVID vaccine adjuvant. So this paper is very important paper, and we published this protocol of ashwagandha as COVID vaccine adjuvant because you remember we have tried ashwagandha in DPT, diphtheria pertussis tetanus vaccine earlier, and we have got good response. Hence, we thought that can we do with COVID-19 vaccination, and result of this paper is published today, this morning. So this is the protocol that we published. So in clinical trial, if we publish our protocol ahead of our study, then that is considered as more credible. And then after this publication of protocol, we conducted this trial. So a message: ashwagandha research has huge potential. Well-designed trials are needed, and trials for health indications, not just diseases. Then this is the network in research. I told you the ashwagandha research for COVID-19, that was possible because our collaborators were from bioinformatics, molecular biology, biochemistry, pharmacology, Ayurveda, immunology, microbiology, analytics. So these are the authors of this PLOS paper that we could publish. So that is interdisciplinary research, right? Whenever we learn in undergraduation, it is intradisciplinary. We learn that discipline while we remain in the boundaries of the discipline. Whenever you are in postgraduate, we are multidisciplinary, right? We learn multiple subjects. When we do research, it is interdisciplinary. Multiple disciplines come together, and when disciplines, they lose their or they shed off their boundaries and limits, and they do something different more, that is called as transdisciplinary. So this is example, this is an example of transdisciplinary research. And then ashwagandha in COVID-19 management, there are so many papers and research that we have conducted, and this is the trial that we did at the very beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Ashwagandha as a safer option than hydroxychloroquine in chemoprophylaxis of COVID-19 pandemic. This study, this is again a clinical trial that we conducted in frontline workers when COVID just started. Then again, this is the ashwagandha's COVID-19 vaccine, and we recruited 1,200 participants in this study, and this is the again ashwagandha Ayurveda based botanicals in cancer. So this is the PhD project of my colleague, where he implemented ashwagandha, Vidania somnifera aqueous and hydroalcoholic extract in mice treated with paclitaxel, and how ashwagandha can prevent or reduce chemotherapy effects. So this is clinical adverse effect, then morbidity analysis of mice, and these are the hematology by total leukocyte and absolute neutrophil counts, where we could demonstrate that neutropenia and leukocytopenia can be addressed with ashwagandha administration. So this is again cytokine profiling results. Those indicate cancer progression reduction and hematopoiesis improvement with ashwagandha in of course in mice. So ashwagandha as cancer adjuvant, this paper was published in Frontiers in Pharmacology. Again, many researchers from Serum Institute and Savitribai Phule Pune University collaborated for this research. I'm going to show you something very different, friends, along with research. These numbers are not properly visible, especially for the people sitting at the back bench, but you will find this paper and its citation, its downloads, views. So this is also, I'm sorry for this. This is a gray color, and this is 1K, 2K, 4K, 5K, 6K. So this paper is now viewed by more than 6,000 researchers and downloaded by many people. So more people are in New York region than put together, Indian people put together, right? But I want to tell you a very interesting thing that I realized this morning. This is my this morning's realization. There is only one social media post, right? As scientists, we also don't bother about taking that research to people, right? Only one social media post, hundreds and thousands of views and downloads. And there are more than 25 citations to this paper, but very few social media posts, and hence we also need to remember in this era of social media that our research reaches to people. Right? So this is again cancer adjuvant leads for clinical use, and these are molecular mechanisms of Vidania somnifera and Shatavari, that is asparagus racemosus. This is a very interesting paper, that work we conducted in Manipal University. And Vidania somnifera extract in combination with paclitaxel has better effects on sensitivity and efficacy than paclitaxel alone. and then mammosphere formation was reduced in rats, and then epithelial to mesenchymal transition and tumor growth was also inhibited, and that suggests that ashwagandha can be used as prevention of metastasis along with its other effects. So this morning, this is the paper that is published just last week. You know who are the authors? Read who are authors. So Wood Science Laboratory, Forest Botanical, etc., etc. And then people from Nestle, right? You'll find their it.nestle.com, nestle.com, etc., etc. University department from Italy. And they have studied very systematically nutraceutical applications of Vidania somnifera, the science knowledge for rational modern use of Ayurvedic adaptation. Right? And evidence from preclinical research and human studies suggests that Vidania somnifera preparations may influence stress-related and sleep-related outcomes and support neuroprotective pathways, suggesting a significant role in nutraceuticals. So I will be not surprised if Nestle people they come out with. It is not propagating a company, please remember, but this is the reality. And so sometimes it is also being promoted as whatever nutraceuticals. So this is the research and findings they have. So ashwagandha in COVID vaccine adjuvant. So this is also how this is the research that was published today, this morning, vaccine adjuvant trial, and you will find more people in alone, Manoj sir, in New York area alone, they have more than 1,500 people. They have downloaded this protocol, and this is the result: safe, prolonged, and prophylactic use and tolerability of ashwagandha following COVID-19 vaccination. Because and this paper also reported that these people who got the first dose only, they have responded better than people who got the further doses, because of vaccination the immunomodulation that had its ceiling effect, so that nothing could be added further, hence we got this result. So these are the institutions, whatever I have described so far. My mentor Professor Patwardhan and his team, we worked with many institutions. So this is the list of our collaborators. Clinical institutions: All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi; Nizam Institute, Hyderabad; KEM Hospital, Mumbai; Kasturba Health Society's Medical Research Center, Center for Rheumatic Disease, Bharati Medical College, BJ Medical College. Many international collaboration, right from NCI, NIH, many laboratories from Serum Institute, Pune College of Pharmacy, Abasab Garware College, National Center for Cell Science, and funding support from Ministry of Ayush, Department of Biotechnology, Department of Social Science and Technology, Government of India. So there were so many collaborators, so many funding agencies, hence we could do this kind of research. I'm not repeating this, but this is going to be the topic of my next year's presentation, if you invite me, ma'am. Because we have completed this study very recently and the data analysis is in progress. So this is the study. Immunomodulated potential of Vidania somnifera and Tinospora cordifolia in healthy volunteers, a proof of concept study where we have immunomodulated potential with 76 people at SPPU and 76 people at ITRH Ahmednagar. We have enrolled in this study, and then we are studying how our WBCs, they react to viral antigens before we take ashwagandha and tinospora, and what happens after our immune response after treatment of 90 days. So this is very systematically done. Immunomodulated study where the in vitro work was done in immunology laboratory of ICMR's Nitwar Nari. So this is the project has a collaborator, sponsor, Institute of Training and Research in Ayurveda, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India, Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda, ICMR, NI, National Health Research Institute, Farmanza Herbals and Savitribai Pune University. This is a typical industry, academia, and research institution collaboration. And another study is immunomotive potential. So this is the study, and again we implemented pharmacokinetics of these two botanicals in a very detailed way, and these results are being analyzed. So in next couple of months we will be able to tell you about the results of this study. So my friends, whatever paper that we read about a comparative pharmacological investigation of ashwagandha and ginseng in 1991, 1994, that has become the reality. And this is the market trend, sir. In 2029, North American ashwagandha market by 2029, and you will see how the trends. And this is the context of your email last week. What you said that people there again saying that we have to take it with caution, with precaution, etc., etc. Because as an Ayurveda physician, when I say that something is good, everything is in context, right? If I use anything in any way for anyone, that may be a problem, and hence Ayurveda thinks it in a very different way. Ayurveda also applies some concepts of Ushna, Shita. Ayurveda also applies concepts of dosage, vehicle, dosage form, host factors. Pitta Prakriti person will not tell people to give ashwagandha with its asava or arishta, this kind of fermented preparation. We will tell people to take ashwagandha with ghee, with milk, etc., etc., based on several host factors. Thus, Ayurveda has some different approach, considering safety, considering properties of drug or properties of any intervention, as well as properties of our body system. And hence, I'm saying it for the fourth time in this talk, that a drug effect is not just drug properties, but its interaction with our body systems. And as we know about the chemistry, we also know about our body systems quite well. So my friends, this is again 140 years of timeline of ashwagandha research. And you will find that in last 4 years, 5 years, it is really rocketed, and that also will lead to its market, obviously, right? So this is the research. 17% of ashwagandha research is trials, and 82% are other research. And these are the indications with number of studies. I think if you give me 2 hours more, then I can complete this lecture. But I think we will stop in after 10 minutes, right? Okay, because everything needs a lot of discussion and debate. So fine. So this is again ashwagandha research proportion human versus other studies. So we have only 6.4 up to 7% human studies, and there are need for more clinical trial. And I really thank the organizers, because they have also organized a course on clinical trials. So I take this opportunity to market my afternoon workshop. I invite many people. If you are interested, please come here. It is a workshop, so please come here at 2 o'clock. I guarantee you will not be bored, or you will not feel sleepy. That is my guarantee. So come for this workshop. So we need more clinical trials and more studies on human. These are several indications, right, from cancer, stress, inflammation, hyperlipidemia, thyroid, obesity, infertility, breast cancer, skin disorders, depression, sexual dysfunction, hypertension, sleep problems, COVID-19. Ashwagandha is tested and tried successfully with its intended benefits. So these are several mechanistic studies, but we will not go into details of this mechanistic study for now. Ashwagandha and brain health, these are the insights. So this is the, again, last year, a very fundamental study exploring our biology of our neurons. What happens when we treat animals with Vidania somnifera, and this is the paper that was published by my another mentor, late Professor Ashok Vaidya and his daughter Vidita Vaidya from Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, and my industry collaborator Lal Hingorani from Pharmanza Herbals. They are the authors, and they have studied a detailed mechanism, ashwagandha mechanism. Ashwagandha extract increased ATP production in brain cells and made mitochondria work better and more efficiently in neurons. Then increased number of mitochondria in brain cells and protected brain cells from stress related damage. So this was the finding when ashwagandha was treated in rat brain. And brain derived neurotropic factor, that is BDNF, that is responsible for growth, survival, stress adaptations, that was improved. And hence another keyword from today's lecture is homeostasis and adaptation. They are central for any health promoting mechanisms. Then certain one proteins, they manage energy, repair damage, and health, stay healthy under stress. They are also improved with ashwagandha. So we are not more in the days of only the ancient text, but now detailed neurobiology or detailed biology of disease is being investigated with this ashwagandha. So there are so many ongoing studies, and Manoj sir, I found there are more than 90 clinical trials. They are registered on clinicaltrial.gov, which is US database of trials. Also, there are more than 25 clinical trials in European Union. They have registered on ashwagandha, and of course in India we have more than 150 clinical trials. So we need more clinical trials because a lot of work is required. So this is analysis of human studies on ashwagandha. This is again a very detailed analysis of clinical trials, but we will not go into details because I don't know whether ashwagandha is effective in hypoglycemia. So this is ashwagandha related research contribution, and our university also contributed with more than 164. This is not only my department, but our university put together includes this esteemed institution. These are papers on ashwagandha. Of course, after India, US, and many other countries, they have contributed. And hence, this is year-wise research collaboration trends, and you will find that multi-institutional collaboration, if you consider good impact or cited indexed papers, you will find multi-institutional collaborations more, and this is the need of this era. So I will not again go into details, but multi-author papers, they are generally published in high impact journals. So that is the ashwagandha research publications in high impact and other journals. I will not go into details because this is the institutional origin, Indian versus foreign. So more than 1/3 institutions from foreign countries, they are engaged in ashwagandha research. So distribution author per paper, I will not go into details, but this is again scientific authorship in ashwagandha research. I will not go into details, but this is very important graph now. Now this story ends with any other story. There is so many things, including international trade, finance, politics, so many things. As you will find, ashwagandha research is increasing, and with its increasing papers, steep increase in its economic value, and it is these are the projection. Being a researcher, I don't understand finance very properly, so please excuse me regarding this million and billion dollars. But these are the papers, but marketing ashwagandha export is also increasing a lot. Researchers are keen to cite ashwagandha research, ashwagandha markets. So this is market projection in 2026, my friends. Ashwagandha market is projected growth is more than $1,000 million in next financial year. So this is the growth, and hence because of this, there are so many things. And yes, I also must say that every drug depends on how it is being used, when, where, how much, etc. And hence we also need to care for its irrational use, rampant use, anybody, everybody, like fad. So that is also not also good. And hence this is the again 2031 projection of US market. Another data that 2031 US market is expected at more than up to 1,200,000 million dollars, $1,200 million, etc. And hence, on April 2013, Denmark banned ashwagandha and published a report on Danish Veterinary and Food Administration, and it cited its reproductive risk, abortifacient effect, hormonal disruption, and organ toxicity. And hence, following Denmark, various countries from Europe, they also imposed ban. But we studied the situation, and on behalf of Government of India, a very systematic response, we studied all those research papers cited very critically. And then Government of India has published a safety dossier. If you want to increase safe use of ashwagandha, then what plant parts should be used? Ashwagandha leaves is also ashwagandha, fruit is also ashwagandha, stem is also ashwagandha. But what we should use for its safe use? What is the dose? What are the problems of various studies? What happens when ashwagandha is being used in excess quantities? Those effects, many of these studies were cited. They use very high dose. They use actually toxic dose. And from toxicity studies, they interpreted its pharmacological properties, which is not true, right? Because our aim is not toxicity, our aim is pharmacology. So we studied the methodological critic, and then Indian government and Danish government, they are now in talks for this further studies, and we published an editorial, and that editorial discussed many things on Danish ban on ashwagandha, its truth, evidence, ethics, and regulation. My friends, science is not alone. Science is always looked from various angles. What is the truth? What is the evidence? What science produces? Ethics and regulations. Hence, results are not meaningful unless they are interpreted in proper way. And we found here that some of the papers were not properly interpreted. And hence, whenever we read papers, please remember result section, discussion section is all about interpretations. And hence we need to read interpretation very properly. And then again there were many say authors of this editorial. Professor Patwardhan, who is a scientist, healthcare expert, Ayurvedic student, then philosopher, and then Dr. B.M. Hegde, very noted cardiologist of our country. So all these people together, they fought against that wrong interpretation of ashwagandha, and that editorial also got cited by many people, that was discussed at many fora. Thus, this is the research timeline from ancient times to till today. And then I also committed a lecture next year based on the findings of other. So this will continue. We have miles to go. This is just a plant. This morning, there were 2,244 research papers published on one plant, ashwagandha. So, my friends, this is need for transdisciplinary research. An artist actually drew this. Mr. Jensenius is an European artist who suggested intradisciplinary undergraduation. We work in the discipline, multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary. This is the way that we should work in academics. Opportunities. So this is a tradition is not the worship of ashes, but preservation of fire. So how people, they describe traditions. It is not just ashes worship, but preservation and passing on the fire that what we have got from our uh, uh, got as a legacy, academic legacy. So, my friends, I will stop here and thank you very much for your patient listening. Uh, Although I talk on medication, we also need to think about meditation. So this is our team led by and guided by my mentor Professor Patwardhanji, and we have very fantastic team at Savitribai Phule Pune University's Department of Health Science and Ayush Center of Excellence. I invite you to visit our institute whenever you are in Pune. You can have a study tour to our institute. With this, thank you very much. I thank the Central Council for Research in Ayurveda, Department of Health Research, Department of Biotechnology, and my mentors, Professor Arvind Chopra and Professor Bhushan Patwardhan, and our university leadership for this, and most important, our patients who participated in those studies. So thank you very much. Thank you for your patient listening. If you have any questions, then I will be here.
Question.
I have a question. Since I live in the US, I know if I go into any grocery store, any health store, there are at least 10 different supplements that contain ashwagandha and with many other ingredients. I know many people who are randomly taking it. I would love to take ashwagandha in the US, but I'm afraid because what is the dosage? Every person is different, and how do you extract it? So the US doesn't have any, correct me, Dr. Furtado, with supplements, there's no regulation. So for example, I have a friend, I know somebody who is in marketing and decided to make a supplement with ashwagandha and rhodiola and another. And that is what anybody with some business expertise is doing without scientific knowledge. So is there a way to spread knowledge about dosage and methods of extraction and how to give in different circumstances?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. And this was the very purpose of this safety dossier that Government of India actually published. It also very clearly stated how, which plant part, how that should be extracted, what is the safe dose, etc. But let it be ashwagandha or vitamin or any other any other, I would say intervention, internal or external, that should be done with a proper advice. And our body is a very intricate, more than machine. Hence, we need to really protect our body, and really we need to have some advice, and then we should take that everything or anything. And hence, that is the purpose of this safety dossier. It has very clearly stated all those things.
I had a follow-up question. Since India has this ancient knowledge, is there any way to kind of standardize these kind of things and then provide employment opportunities for our young master students?
Absolutely, you said it. So there are many. India and the natural product industry, which is which is uh, which is active, they are also now involved in serious research. And one of the studies what I just quoted, this is again Indian, one of the manufacturing company that studied this. So now things are really changing, and this is an opportunity for many of our young graduates. As you said, they should know analytical chemistry, natural product chemistry, or detailed biochemistry and its principle, how they can be applied for natural product research. And there are so many opportunities nowadays. The funding agencies such as Ayush Ministry, CSIR, ICMR, Department of Biotechnology, they are also promoting, say, indigenous knowledge research. There are so many fellowships. So our students, young postgraduates, after they can also go for, say, NET, UGC, CSIR, and then they can get fellowships, as well as the industry sector is also booming. And we are also in process of collaborating with person like Lonkar sir, and I'm going to involve him in Ayurveda research so that, uh, sir, this is just an example, so don't worry. So there are so many exciting opportunities being coming, and Indian industry is now also very sensitive about those topics, because globalization was inevitable. Now we are actually in the peak of globalization and multiple exchanges. So things are certainly changing for good. But every hissa purja stakeholder of the entire business, they should be well aware. And academics is the foundation, and hence this was the purpose why we have this lecture here, because uh, from the student and academician, somebody will go to industry, somebody will do regulation, somebody will go to several other fields. So we think that sensitization at academic level, even at undergraduate level, is very, very important. So thank you for this question. Please.
Is there any question?
Please. Please.
After COVID-19 situation now around, I observe many people around myself, they are going through the problem of strong anxiety. So when anxiety become high now, at that time adrenal glands secreting adrenaline enzyme and cortisol level. When stressful situation will occur, at that time cortisol level goes on increasing, and at that time our body is doing some type of defense. At that time flight mode is active and up. At that time your heartbeats too change. And I have read on the scale that there are so many articles on ashwagandha is used, people have been using in anxiety treatment. So now I am able to ask you that your department is also working on it, or
We're not working on mental health research as such, but as you described, we are living in an era where we have, in one word, if I want to describe what you said, is sympathetic overactivation. We are in the era of sympathetic overactivation, and not only ashwagandha, but I'm sure, not just sure, but it is evidence-based, uh, say validated, that many of simple yoga techniques, many of simple deep breathing techniques, they are also very helpful in this scenario. And hence this was the reason I concluded my talk with this: from medication to meditation. So we need this, whatever we do. Even we are not labeled patient of anxiety or depression. Everyone is vulnerable. You just step out and there are vehicles coming to you as if you are being attacked. There are so many situations, not just in various walks of life we are facing this, and hence everyone should take charge of his or her own health. Unless we take charge of our own health, unless we are involved in it, don't outsource it. We have to get involved. We have to be concerned about our own health. That is very, very important. Although I spoke on ashwagandha, I will not tell that ashwagandha is everything. You do anything with it. No. There are several ways, several non-pharmacological techniques that we should adapt. Simple things. The studies have shown that if you start regular exercising, that acts as antidepressant. If you do yoga exercises, yoga itself offers so many things which handles sympathetic overactivation by balancing your parasympathetic systems quite well. Still you get the similar effects which anyway you will get through aerobic and other exercise. but still your sympathetic overactivation will not happen. So that is the fundamental of yoga, and hence we also need to look at simple, easy to administer, cost effective home based techniques like yoga. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, please.
Actually, I live in the Boston area in the US, and I used to work with medical doctors. And part of me was thinking, am I in India? Because everybody is talking about meditation, mindfulness, lowering your sympathetic nervous system activation, yoga. And I think what Dr. Tillu has said is very important. We do not live like our evolutionary ancestors in sensory calm. We're constantly have sympathetic stimulation in our environment, in the way our children grow, in the kind of jobs we have. And what Dr. Tillu said, it's holistic. And what I feel living in Boston is this knowledge comes from India. Can't we monetize it so that our kids can get jobs and kind of market it to the rest of the world?
This is a very interesting idea, yeah. So monetizing is an outcome, but the process is to make it a professional, and hence, ma'am, I will also update on the Ministry of Ayush has implemented, say, standards for QCI, Quality Council of India standards for yoga therapist, yoga practitioners, etc. And they are also collaborating with many of the institutions in collaboration, and that is happening. The Harvard Medical School has a course on stress management, because the founder of Harvard Medical School worked on relaxation response. It is again opposite to stress response, and this is actually an extension of yoga and its mechanism. So that school also offers course on integrative medicine, and they also include this yoga very actively in this course for integrative management. But this course is restricted to medical doctors, etc. But that is happening, and as you say, that should be the way. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you have a question.
I request Manohar Pratado sir to conclude with his comments and remark after we are done with this question. Yes.
Sir, I have a question.
Please.
We are working on traditional medicines from thousands of years in India, right? But if we take a example, like camptothecin is also an anti-cancer drug, right? So since it's really effective, many industries are like they have purified the camptothecin from the plants, and we have formulated it, and it's used in it's one of the top anti-cancer drugs which is used in the medicine. Then what is the problem with the other of botanicals? Why are we not coming to a stage where we purify a single compound, flavonoid or vidaferin from Vidania somnifera, and then as ma'am said, we have not yet standardized. So what is the problem? Like from 30 years or from 50 years we are working on this.
So there are studies on vidanolides on trials. For example, ashwagandha is one of the active. So again, active is very complicated thing, right? So because actually a natural product acts through many ways, because our systems biology concept thinks that there can be many mechanisms, many ways nature has devised and designed. These many ways, they also they also impart robustness to biological systems. Hence, if we go on purifying, that becomes potent, but at the same time, that becomes similar to, or that becomes modern medicine, where you have potent action and many of the adverse effects. So as we go on purifying, we get improved potency, but again, many invited adverse effects. If we go on, I'm not saying the term crude in a very crude way, but standardized extracts as per our traditional knowledge, standardized, well characterized, but they are say driven by our traditional extraction methods, very standardized. We should know the chemistry, and many of our formulations, you must have noticed that we know detailed chemistry of it. And then use them. Then you have not that potency, but improved safety. And I will also tell you, every fifth admission in United States, hospital admission, is because of some adverse drug effect. Adverse drug effect is one of the top 10 killers. So are we inventing drugs, or are we inventing more and more toxins in order to make them more potent? And hence that is the debate in natural product research. This is not one very simple MCQ answer to this your question, but your question is very profound, but this is my take on it.
Okay, I think we are over time, and I think we have to head out to people for lunch. We're starting the workshop at 2 o'clock, so I think we have about maybe 45 minutes to come back here who are registered. And I thank you all for coming. So in a nutshell, if I'm going to summarize Dr. Tillo's talk, what I got out of it mostly is please collaborate. Okay, there are no divisions like botany, zoology, microbiology. That's all something that has been created long back. If you go to the US, it's just integrative biology or life sciences, and people from different departments are all involved in a collaborative project. So take ashwagandha, there is an MIT paper with 25 authors where they've taken the entire genome from ashwagandha, put it in yeast. Now this is where you can make highly concentrated products that have medical efficacy. If you look at acknowledgements, there are 5 companies sitting there. Now this is one thing I find a little bit missing in India, in the sense that there are government institutions, a lot of academic institutions, but I don't see too many industrial partners. So why do you need an industrial partner? Because if you want to commercialize, they will spend the money. Say one drug in the US is a couple of $1 billion to get it actually through the FDA. Okay. There's nutraceuticals and other food supplements, the bar is a little bit low. I mean, they look at some studies they need to show there's no toxicity and all that, but they really don't have to prove efficacy. So I'm glad he mentioned there are a lot of clinical trials going on to show efficacy, but I think the gap a little bit is still in getting an extract that if you make it 100 batches, they are all the same or reproducible. Okay, because when you're dealing with plant extracts, there's more variability than if you're trying to make one corticosteroid or something like that, which is, organic synthesis, completely pure, goes to HPLC, single peak, and it's all good. But there are advantages to not getting it too pure, which he mentioned. That's also there. So I think there's a balance between what you do. But again, as Dr. Tillo mentioned, it's detailed clinical studies, randomized clinical trials, and safety evaluation that is done very rigorously, so you don't get this Danish government. And so I just sent an article to him about last week. There's a group, he was talking about using social media. There's a group in the US, American Association of Retired Persons. Okay, it's about 100 million people in that group. So they took all these studies and then made a recommendation from they're not scientists, but they're using these publications to tell older people not to take, they've listed 7 or 8 supplements. One of them is ashwagandha, but there are other things, even ginseng and all kinds of things. So again, as you mentioned, I think dosing And there is also difference between individuals. I may be able to withstand a high dose, but somebody else may be we have to give them a low dose. So this should be administered by some expert who has more knowledge. So I think, but in any case, excellent lecture. I have a couple of requests. Can we get some of the slides if you email it to me or to Shelke or Sunny or Dr. Lamrud, then we can, anything confidential, you can take it out. But the thing is, they'll get all the titles of the articles, then they can pull it out, whoever is interested. So that's one thing, we'll put it in the chat so everybody has it. And the second request is if you're running any training programs in the health sciences, please let us know, especially let me know, maybe a couple of people from the HODs, so we can advertise it to the students and they can try to apply and hopefully get in there. And yeah, so message for the life science group here is that work collaboratively. I mean, you have different expertise. He has microbiology expertise. Sunny is a molecular biology expert. Some of the organic chemistry people have excellent analytical chemistry tools. Dr. Tuck is a chromatography expert. So we have people here, and I see Santosh Deshmukh also with excellent publications in various journals. So coming to, and I think Dr. Aranna is not here, he's another person with a lot of publications. If you work as a group, it becomes much easier. And we will support some collaborative projects initially, but as time goes and as the charity becomes bigger and bigger, we can do more of it. Okay, so with that, I'll conclude and thank Dr. Tillu for an excellent talk, and hopefully you will come here again next year. Okay, thank you. I wish to thank you.
Thank you, everyone. There is a small refreshment outside, so I request all of us to please we'll have a refreshment, and we will meet again at 2 o'clock sharp for next session for the workshop. And along with that, there is a feedback form. The QR code is there downstairs. So you just scan and fill the feedback form for the lecture. You will get certificate online. Thank you. Thank you once again.